There we go. Get this thing up and going. Ah, we got some people showing up. That's good. I was wondering whether anybody was going to be interested in this. Well, we already got some questions. That's good. People want to know what I'm smoking. Well, I am smoking, well, here's the pipe. It's a Peterson B10. And just look at that grain on that. It's one of their premier models. I don't remember the exact model on it, but it's a Peterson B10. And in it, I have a blend from a local pipe shop, Schwab's in Lexington, Kentucky, and this blend is entitled golly, it's Kentucky something. It's Kentucky Gold or Kentucky, it's something Kentucky. Anyway, it's primarily a burley blend. I think it's called Kentucky Gold, and it's overwhelming. It's just all burley. It's all burley is what it is. I wanted to do a live stream tonight. I didn't know whether anybody would actually show up to this because I've not announced it. But I see that we have some people who are interested in this live stream, and so I want to do another Q&A. I don't have any particular topic, but I do want to find out if there's any questions out there in the audience, because I just really want to talk to you. I want to let you determine the direction of the conversation. Greg asked, do I smoke cigars? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I enjoy a cigar on occasion. Not very often, maybe once or twice a week. I had a box of 1926 Padrones delivered to the house some time ago, and I really like those. I like Padrones. If I had to smoke a particular cigar, I think it would have to be a Padron, because I really, really like them. But I don't smoke them nearly as much as I smoke a pipe, but I do smoke them once or twice a week. Ooh, that's good. Great. Day in the morning, that's a good pipe tobacco. So, John Banker asked, what's the ideal humidity level for pipe tobacco? I don't think it's nearly as important as what it is with cigars. I don't think it's nearly as important. I usually have the humidity level in my house, simply because of the air conditioning system, at about 55 to 65%. And so I think that's an appropriate level to have it. So Dennis asked, do you believe in the concept of predestination? No, I do not. I am not a Calvinist. I tried to be a good Calvinist for a long period of time, but I don't think that God ordains some people to be saved and He ordains others to go to hell. I think that Christ died for each and every soul, and that it's His will for everybody to go to heaven and to be with Him. I mean, I don't see how anybody could see it otherwise. So no, I'm not a Calvinist. Jonah asked about how many bowls do you smoke a day. Here lately, one or two bowls a day. There are some days where I do not smoke a pipe. There are some days where I just don't, I'm not in the mood. I don't smoke. I don't wake up with the idea of a routine that tells me I have to smoke this amount of tobacco today. I smoke when I am in the mood. And sometimes that's 3 or 4 bowls a day. Sometimes that's no bowls a day. So I follow the mood. I follow, you know, what I want to do. So there's no daily routine with that. Tara's parable said, does your wife ever enjoy a pipe? No, my wife is not a tobacco smoker. She does not enjoy that particular hobby, but that's okay. That's okay. I know many women do, and I have known many women who smoke pipes, but my wife is not one of them. Mr. Moses said, I started smoking pipes a year ago and came across your content early on. I always enjoy what you put out, and it's important to stick with your convictions. God bless. Yes, well, I am a man of pretty strong conviction. And I've gotten in trouble about that on this channel a few times. But I believe what I believe, and I have history to back it up, particularly when it comes to American society and American politics. The Piper's Mantle says, hi Alan, how is your gazebo project going? I remember you mentioning a future project of building a small area to meet up with fellow pipe smokers. Yes, I still want to do that, but we've got a lot going on. We've got a lot going on with our farm, with our family, and so at some point within the next 2 or 3 years, I want to have a facility set up here in Kentucky where we can have Pipe Cottage meetups. And I just want to tell everybody that's listening, this coming Saturday, I'm going to make a video about Boswell pipes over the next 2 or 3 days. But this coming Saturday, September the 2nd, I'm going to be at Boswell's Alexandria, Pennsylvania shop from 1 to 4 p.m. And if you are anywhere near that area, I would love and appreciate to shake your hand and to share a bowl with you. But Boswell has agreed to allow the Pipe Cottage to come in there and have some wonderful, wonderful time with some people there. And so if you're in the Alexandria, Pennsylvania area from 1 to 4 this coming Saturday, September 2nd, come on by. We're going to have a good time. Oh, let's see what else we got. How did your crops turn out this year, John Banker? Well, sir, we just bought a beautiful John Deere tractor, and I had a guy who was cutting hay on our land, in our bottom land. Our land is primarily wooded, but we do have about 20-25 acres of cleared land, and he was cutting hay off of it, and he had some health problems and said he wouldn't be able to take care of it this year. And so we went out and bought some farm equipment, and we're taking care of our land personally now. And next year, we are going to be growing the majority of our own vegetables, our own produce, because I believe in that. I believe in, if you have land, you have the ability to produce your own food, there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be doing it. So God is good. God is so wonderful. So we have some other questions. Swaggerman Papa 1926 says, did you know that you can find new old stock Peterson Sportsman pipes? As of right now, they have Shape 87. Shape 87 is my most important, most cherished shape of Peterson when it comes to Peterson pipes. I absolutely love them. It's a straight apple, no complications, no complexity about it, just a straight apple pipe. Kathleen Walls, hello my friend, hoping all is well in God's country down there. Miss seeing all of you, let's meet and eat soon. Kathleen, you, for those of you who do not know, Kathleen, who just made that comment, was the real estate agent who helped us find this property in Kentucky. If you are looking for wonderful, wonderful property in Kentucky, you need to look up Kathleen Walls and her husband, Ep Walls. They are located in Somerset, Kentucky. They are, as far as I know, still a part of United Country Real Estate. And most of you are probably not interested in moving, but if you're interested in moving to Kentucky, Kathleen Walls is the person you should get in touch with. So what, my goodness, I've got so much to deal with here. Daniel says, Alan, I might have missed it because I just joined, but what kind of pipe is that beauty? Yeah, I recently said this is a Peterson B10, and I have some house blend, a Burley house blend from Schwab's Tobacconist in Lexington, Kentucky, inside of it. And actually, if y'all will excuse me just for a minute, I need to fire this thing back up. I had a fella leave a comment recently. He said that I needed to improve my pipe smoking habits because I have to relight too often. And of course, he is basing that on video content. Folks, let me tell you, when you're talking for a video, it's hard to keep a pipe lit. It's amazing the things that people will criticize you for on the internet. People will say things to you over the internet that they will never say to you in person. And that should not be the case. So Peter Schofield says, have I tried tobacco with deer tongue? I have, and I don't like it. I don't prefer it. I don't prefer deer tongue. Y'all have to forgive me. I'm kind of in a more casual environment. I have a t-shirt on. Ordinarily, I don't like to make videos without without dressing appropriately. I think it's important to do that, but this was just a spur of the moment thing tonight. Liam Walker says, hello from England. I may have missed previous videos, but any thoughts on Lakelands and their history? How do they go with Kentucky weather? I enjoy Lakeland tobaccos from England. I really do. I enjoy Lakeland tobaccos, and a lot of people don't. But I think they're wonderful. I just absolutely love them. Chuck Guy says, I made it to the live. I'm a big fan of you, Dr. Allen. Thank you for speaking the truth in this crazy world and speaking the truth of Christ. I'm going to say something on this live stream that I probably would not say in a normal video that I post. You know, I get a lot of criticism from people who say, well, you don't need to talk about politics, don't need to talk about religion, you just need to talk about pipes. Well, folks, talking about pipes and pipe tobacco is limited. There are many, many, many people who can talk about all that sort of thing on their YouTube channels, and that's fine. But I had a fellow pipe smoker sent me a text message last night, and he wanted to know my opinions about current politics and current American society. And I told him, I said, well, if you've not watched Tucker Carlson's interview with Trump, it's got over 200 million views now. 200 million. And let me see if I can watch the viewers go down as I start talking about this, because I can see who's watching and who's not. And here's my answer to this particular person. My answer was, if Trump does not win in 2024, we will see civil war. We will see civil war. And I am convinced of that. Because there's more reason for true American patriots to be aggravated now than there ever was in the 1770s and the 1850s and the early 1860s. If Trump does not win in 2024, the only reason that will happen is because of, once again, election fraud and election interference. Election interference. And so I'm to the point now where I am so tired of people trying to... do you know that I have people on a regular occasion who are attacking this channel? It's just a pipe... It's just a pipe channel. It's just about pipes and tobacco. But, you know, people are constantly attacking me because I'm conservative. And I'm not conservative in the sense that I am Republican. I'm conservative in the sense that I believe in the teachings of the founding generation of this country. Folks need to remember that I have spent my life studying American history. I have spent my life. I have a PhD in American history. And so when these idiots get on YouTube, when they start to... You know, there are idiots on YouTube who make videos against me saying that, oh, I just hate everybody. I just hate this person. I hate that person. It makes me angry. It makes me angry. Unity is a lie if it's wrapped up in evil, if it's wrapped up in a falsity. We have people in this, and I didn't mean to get on here and do a live stream about politics, but by God, I'm ready to talk about it. We do not have a country where unity is necessary if half of the country doesn't believe a single thing that the founding generation had to say. They don't believe a single thing that the founding generation had to say. So yeah, I wish I could publicize that conversation I had with that fellow pipe smoker last night, because I told him point blank. I said, if Trump doesn't win in 2024, there will be violence in this country. There will be. And let's see how long it takes for YouTube to pull the Pipe Cottage channel down because I said that. We're giving too much leeway to people who don't matter. Too much emphasis. Notice that the COVID pandemic is starting to rise up again. That's not by accident. They're going to try the same daggum thing that they did in 2020. They're going to try the same thing. The same thing. But fortunately, there's a lot of people who are not going to buy that BS this time. I haven't paid any attention to the questions. Let me pay attention to what's going on here. Mike Brunello says, hello from Hardin County, Kentucky. Have you ever tried Captain Black tobacco, or do you only smoke high-end brands? I have tried Captain Black and I don't like it. Carl Hopes has any idea where to buy land in Alabama or Florida? If I were to buy land in Florida, it would not be anywhere other than the Panhandle. The Panhandle is beautiful. It's a beautiful country. Alabama, I know some wonderful people in Greene County, Alabama. It's one of the poorest parts of the state, but they've got beautiful land and beautiful people. Somebody, Lifewell has mentioned my PhD dissertation. Native to the Soul was the title of it, 20th Century Agrarian Thought in the Upland South. Yeah, so I'm shocked that anybody has paid attention to that, but it is, I spent years writing that, and I think that it makes a pretty decent point. Stephen Smith says, in England we have a saying, a little knowledge is dangerous, and that's the problem with some of these YouTube half-wits. Have y'all noticed, I noticed on, now I'm just talking to YTPC people here now, YouTube Pipe community. I noticed on the Breyer Report some videos about folks who are chastising people who are in the pipe community who are monetizing their YouTube channel. And I know for a fact that a couple of those videos are talking about me. Well, I reserve the right to monetize if I can make money off of it. But YouTube can remove that, and they can just completely disregard everything that I'm talking about. I don't care. I don't need the money from YouTube. But what aggravates me is that these people who are making videos about not monetizing pipe channels, they think that the benefit of the community is more important than the benefit of the single person. Well, that may be true, but what I'm noticing as the Pipe Cottage continues to grow, as things continue to move forward, because I've not stopped. I've tried to stop several times making videos, but I can't do it. I love talking to people. As it continues to grow, the criticism continues to mount. And so I'm trying to figure out how to deal with that. Any minute detail that people can criticize are going to do it. And so it's like I've said in other videos in the past, Winston Churchill, he said that if he stopped to challenge every dog that barked at his car on his way to Parliament, he would never get to where he's going. So I think that's worth bearing in mind. Let me get back to the questions. Does anybody enjoy Dr. Grayboe pipes? I enjoy Dr. Grayboe pipes. I've got probably 4 or 5 in my collection, and I posted a new video today explaining the third part of my collection, and I've not got to the Dr. Grayboes yet, but I enjoy Dr. Grayboes. They're made in North Carolina. They're excellent pipes. I don't see why anybody wouldn't smoke them. Tiffany Timmerman says, hello from Minnesota. Do you have any health concerns from smoking a pipe? No, I don't. I have more health concerns from eating too many carbohydrates. I have more health concerns from sugar. I don't eat sugar. I just despise it. I don't eat sugar. I eat a very, very low carb diet. I think that now I'm not a carnivore. I'm not into the carnivore diet like Jordan Peterson and George Bruno and all the others are a part of. I like vegetables. I crave vegetables. Ooh, I love a pot of collard greens and butter beans. Ooh, shut your mouth. I just really, really love my vegetables. So but I try to keep it no sugar, no bread. So no. When I think about my health, I don't worry about the pipe. Actually, I think the pipe is put here on earth as a solace from God. Dakota Wayne says, just got my first pipe the other day, decided to put down vaping and pick up something a bit more elegant. I got a basket pipe for $50. It says Capri, Italy. I don't know about the pipe you have, but if it's from Italy, it's good. Son, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what name is on that pipe. As long as you can fill it with tobacco and you're able to have a good smoke out of it, it doesn't matter who made it. It doesn't matter who made it. Dustin and Ashes, everything Theology says, are you reformed? Well, no. Actually, I've not made this announcement on my channel yet, and I don't know the extent to which I'm ready to talk about this, but I am inches away from converting to Catholicism. I am inches away from converting to Catholicism. And so we'll just leave it at that. If that happens, I'll make a video about it and explain that to you. Old Uncle Mike says, how do I convince my wife I will not necessarily get mouth cancer and related cancers? I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know. What your relationship is with your wife is your business. I don't know your wife's position. I don't know. I'm not in a position to recommend. I'm not a physician, but I'm not in a position to tell you one way or the other how to deal with that situation. $700 verses 2 says, just got in the chat. Can you recommend a good introductory book or two on the Civil War? There's been so much written about that conflict. It's almost difficult to recommend one or two books. But if I had to recommend one that would give you an understanding of the period as a whole, not simply the Civil War itself, read Susan Mary Grant's North over South. Susan Mary Grant, North over South. And she's a British historian. And what she argues in that book is that what we have after the Civil War in this country is not American nationalism on the whole, it is New England nationalism writ large. Because you have an entirely separate interpretation of Southern history that's defeated on the battlefield during the 1860s, an entirely different version. And so Susan Mary Grant, North over South, you might read that. BCV Piper says, I hope to see you at Boswell soon and possibly enjoy a good bowl of tobacco with you. Well, so as I've said previously in this live stream, I will be at Boswell's on September 2nd from 1 to 4 p.m. And that's at the Alexandria store where J.M. Boswell is where he's making his pipe. So if you're in the area, you might look that up. Somebody says, as someone, wait, let me go back to that. As someone who is knowledgeable on several historical wars, do you enjoy learning about modern conflicts? No, modern conflicts really don't interest me very much at all. Because, as G.K. Chesterton said, there's no new ideas, only old mistakes. Dakota Wayne says, could you recommend one book that is not the Bible that everyone should read? That's a difficult question, but my mind immediately goes to Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. Marcus Aurelius was one of the good emperors of the Roman Empire, and his meditations have a lot of wisdom in there. It actually aligns quite well with the book of Proverbs. Ronnie says, how long can I sell aromatic tobacco versus English? Are there any limits? Aromatics do not benefit as much from cellaring as Virginia blends and English blends and even Burley blends. So I don't think that cellaring aromatics is necessarily what you should be cellaring. You should cellar Virginias and English blends and some quality Burley blends. Little Spence 49 says filtered pipes versus non-filtered pipes, pros and cons. I never smoke filtered pipes, never do, and I think that much of the flavor is lost when you are filtering your tobacco. But that is subject of intense debate. But I do not filter any of my pipes. Taylor says, do you prefer a P-lip or fishtail? I do not own a P-lip, Peterson. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. They're all fishtail. John Law says, do you think Federalists like Alexander Hamilton meant well, or were they trying to overstep their bounds with federal power? Alexander Hamilton was a nemesis. He was an enemy of the Constitution. He was an enemy of the Constitution. He received more of his influence from the French Revolution than he did the American Revolution. So bear that in mind. The French Revolution was interested in completely eradicating any semblance of history, any semblance of tradition. So Alexander Hamilton is not a hero of mine. I think that we would be far better to study Thomas Jefferson and George Washington. John Adams even, not Alexander Hamilton. But we live now in Hamilton's America and Lincoln's America. We do not any longer live in Washington and Jefferson's America. Just think about that. Dust is and Ashes says, The Pilgrim's Progress. A better book is The Pilgrim's Regress from C.S. Lewis. The Pilgrim's Regress from C.S. Lewis. That's all I'll say about that. Somebody is talking to me from Steubenville, Ohio. If there's a pipe shop in Steubenville, Ohio, I will be interested in that, because I have been interested in visiting Steubenville because of the Catholic school there. So I would be interested in knowing more about that community and that pipe shop. You can send me an email, alan@thepipecottage.com. Would love to hear more about that. George McDonald, yes, George McDonald is fantastic, Stephen Kinsey says. Peter says, my favorite video you came out with was about church wardens in Chesterton. I've been reading Chesterton a great deal, and I've been reading Chesterton for 15 years. And actually, Chesterton, he visited the American South in about 1914, and he was visiting Tennessee, primarily the Nashville area. And he said that there's more about Old England in the Old South than remains in England itself. And so that statement really got me hooked on Chesterton. Because Chesterton was able to recognize tradition where it was real, where it was alive, and he saw it in the American South in the 19-teens in a way that he did not experience in England at the same time. But he had not yet converted to Catholicism at that time. Chesterton is just an immensely fascinating person to study. My goodness at the questions. I'm trying. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to get through this. Who was your favorite president? Dakota Wayne says, that would be Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy, 1861 to 1865. Born here in Kentucky, raised in Mississippi. I named my firstborn son Davis after the Confederate president. That's my favorite American president. Just because he was the president of the Confederacy does not mean that he was not an American president. And people are constantly talking about Trump being the first president who's booked and who's put in jail. No, that's not true. Jefferson Davis was put in prison for 2 years after the Civil War. 2 years. And actually, one of his only sources of comfort was a meerschaum pipe. A meerschaum pipe. And that pipe is still in existence. And you can see it in a museum, I think in Richmond, Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. So let's not forget about our Confederate history in this country, regardless as to whether your people fought in the North or the South. Let's not forget these Confederate leaders, because they respected, as Shelby Foote said, they respected law above all things. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm growing tired. I'm growing tired of talking on the computer screen. I just wanted to touch base for just a little bit and have a conversation with you. Again, I will say, if you are in Alexandria, Pennsylvania, next week, September 2nd, from 1 to 4, anywhere around there, we will be there. I will be smoking a pipe with Mr. J.M. Boswell, and it's going to be a lovely time. I take an annual pilgrimage to the Gettysburg battlefield, and I'm looking forward to meeting some of the Pipe Cottage followers there. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to go. I'm going to go and spend the rest of the evening with my family. It's Friday evening, but I wanted to get on here and spend a little time with you. And so until we have a chance to meet again, this is Alan Harrelson with the Pipe Cottage. Thank you for stopping by.